on Casey and Martin and Shaddy.
Yeah, Shaddy's not ready yet. He won't play Friday for sure. Martin, he looks like he's good to go. Yeah.
You think Shaddy might have a shot to play at some point this weekend?
Man, I don't know. It's going to be it's day to day. You know, like I said, it's not broken. It's just about grip and pain. But he's having trouble with gripping the bat right now.
He's got such a high threshold of pain. It seems like how tough has he been? And you got to know it's really bad if he's not playing.
Well, I know it's bad. He wants to play. He's having a great year and conference game. Last few games at Baum Stadium, I think that he's trying to do everything he can to play. He's getting his treatment, and but if you can't squeeze the bat, you can't play.
Hunter Wilson still your guy, or you Kenley?
Kenley will play third, and I'll put Casey Martin at second tomorrow.
Is that just the best defensive, or why
That's
do you
the
do
best. That's just the way I need to do it. That's the way we want to do it.
How good is it to get? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
All the defenders are good, so it's really not about that. It's just about Kenley deserves a chance. I mean, he's played good when he's been in the lineup. He's played well, so it's his time.
How good is it to get Martin his bat back in the lineup?
Well, it's good. The speed, the threat. The bats. It's a plus. It's like everybody. It's not every day or every at bat, but what you get is a threat, and he can steal a base. He can really run, obviously. So he brings a lot to the lineup.
I guess Alabama being in last place doesn't have much effect after last week from the team.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about it, but we don't even need to look at it as far as a team. We just need to go out there and play well on Friday and go from there. You can't really, in this league, you can't judge it too much off of that. Obviously they're like everybody. They've got things they need to work on, and they've had some bad days, but they've had some good days too, and they've got a lot of players over there that, this summer they'll be playing in the minor league, so you can't take anybody lightly.
Auburn outscored them 44-10. I mean, when you see scores like that, or your guys see scores like that, what do you think?
Well, if you go back and look at the box scores, you're going to have to go to about the sixth inning to start seeing any action, because they held them down the first half of pretty much every game, and that was also a doubleheader where the games got away a little bit late on them, but I didn't look at that at all. I haven't looked at anything, as far as what Auburn did against them. I'm looking at what we need to do against Alabama right now.
Not playing the other night, did that affect things one way or another as far as your momentum or anything?
I hope not. I guess we'll find out after this weekend. But we just went inside last night or yesterday afternoon late, and pitchers that we were planning on throwing a little bit on Wednesday, they threw hitters live inside. Got 20, 22, 25 pitches each, and got a chance to compete with everybody watching and kind of get them ready for the weekend if we need them.
What did you like about Kenley? I mean, I know he's a good defensive player. What do you like about getting him in the lineup?
Well, he's a really good defender, obviously, at third base, and he can play short as well. Got a really good eye at the plate. Like I said, I don't feel like he's had probably enough opportunity. Wilson got to play the other night, to kind of flip a coin on playing those two the other night. So I feel like Kenley needs to get a shot. Plus, I really like, Casey Martin is a middle infielder by trade, and he works out there all the time, and just I think it's a good way to line that infield up.
Casey Murphy, what have you liked about him so far this year, where he's been able to just kind of bounce around in different starting roles for you?
Well, he doesn't get all uptight about it if he pitches out of the bullpen or starts or pitches midweek or comes in to close the game, or you tell him the day before that he might be out of the pen tomorrow, instead of starting. We just see how it goes, and it doesn't really affect him. He just goes and pitches. He gets on the mound when he's called, and he throws a lot of strikes, keeps teams off balance, and he really competes. He pitches like a veteran. He doesn't take anything personal. He's pitching for the team.
I know you only got the one game in against Texas Tech, but how big was it to win that and kind of maybe get the team back on the right track?
Well, it was a big win because they're a highly ranked team. They're one of the best teams we've played all year, and it was good to get a win, especially after losing 3 straight, obviously, and moved us up a little bit in RPI and helped to shrink the schedule and everything else. So, it helped us in many ways, but I think mentally, it kind of helped us get over this past weekend and move ahead.
Did you see anything from Murphy in the fall where you knew he was going to have such a good year statistically?
Well, what we saw was last year, his sophomore year. I mean, he pitched down the stretch pretty well for us and held teams down. I mean, he beat Florida, in the SEC tournament. He pitched 2 or 3 times in our regional and actually came back on one-day's rets and gave us 5 or 6 innings against Missouri State, gave us a chance to win, held him to 3 runs, I think. So, we saw it last year. We expected him to have a good spring. He didn't throw a whole lot in the fall. He was just working on getting his arm in shape and, didn't pitch in the summer. So basically what we saw was last year that he was going to be pretty good if he stayed healthy.
You expect this West race to just stay super tight all the way?
Well, I've said that all along. It's probably going to go down to the last weekend one way or the other, whether we're in it or not. Really what it takes now is can you stay healthy? Do you have you have all your pitchers, you got your closer, you got your infielders, your outfit, are you healthy? You got your guys. And if you don't, you really have to have some guys step it up for you because it's I think the talent level is pretty close all the way across the board. So I feel like it'll be a pretty good race for the next 3 weeks.
What's it been like to watch Heston's freshman year for you?
Well, it's always fun to watch the freshmen when they go out and play like they can physically, with the ability they have, and they don't kind of waste their freshman year being a little tentative or nervous, or anxious. They just kind of walk in and keep their mouth shut and prove that they can play, and that's what he's done, and that's what Benintendi did, and that's what the good freshmen in the past have done. James McCann, Zach Cox, I could go on and on. Guys that helped us out a lot as true freshmen, they come in and play, and they don't get caught up in everything else, and that's what Heston's done. So it's been a pleasure to watch him, obviously, just like it has been for our fans. And you get to build around that guy, and hopefully he stays healthy.
Fletcher's back over 300 now. What's been the key to that? How does it see him hitting like that?
Yeah, I think just laying off some pitches, that are out of the zone early in the count. Taking singles and not trying to hit home runs every pitch, and he's done a lot better job of that. He's gone the other way. I think he's bought into a lot of things about staying through the ball and going oppo, and I still think he's got a lot better days in front of him. I mean, he's been a lot better, but he knows he's a lot better than what he's been this year, and we do. And so hopefully, he can stay hot and really get hot down the stretch for us.
You talk about he's had a lot of bunt hits. How big has that been, and how good is it to have a guy in this day and age that can bunt?
Yeah, Fletcher's had 4 or 5 bunt base hits at least this year, and Jack's Biggers, and I think Martin's had a few. And there's been a couple others, throw them in there. Shaddy's had a few. Well, it's just good to have that because these corner infielders, they'll play you back so far till you kind of make them prove that you can bunt on them, and that's when we've bunted for the most time and for the most part. And I think that they've also started some good rallies for us and led to some good innings.
You've had a lot of good center fielders. Where does Fletcher, where do you rank him, or just how good is center fielders?
Well, I think he's as good as any center fielder we've ever had, and I've said that a couple of times because, I mean, he's saved 2 or 3 games already this year just with his glove, making plays that have saved big innings or saved, 2 runs. And I think of the Auburn game, and I think there was a game, against South Carolina that he saved the game, and he's not the fastest center fielder I've ever had, but he's probably the best I've ever had of not misjudging a ball off the bat or getting just a little bit of a half-step jump on it before, the ball's even, off the bat. He reads the pitch in the zone and the swing, and he's moving.
Baseball America just ranked Baum Stadium the best ballpark in college baseball. But what makes this place so special for you
They
guys?
did. When did they do that?
Announced it today.
That's great. I think what you see, it's probably not about, everything that's underneath. It's about, the game day experience. It's about walking in the field and the park looks great and the stadium looks great with the way the suites are set up and that it's full of people. And, it's just the feel. And it has a great feel of a ballpark because there's some really nice ballparks. There's some places that we play in our league where, there's a lot of fans and a lot of noise, but it still has a little bit of a different feel. And Baum Stadium's just, I don't know, it's kind of an old feel, but classic that I don't think will ever go away with this sport.
A guy like Fletcher, even if he's struggling, I mean, is he a guy, hey, you keep him in the lineup because he's such a plus defender?
I keep him in the lineup for his defense. I keep him in the lineup because we've got to have him, and we've got to have him swinging the bats bat well, we've got to have him drive in runs. You know, he's been getting on, he's been getting his hits. When he starts getting that big hit, driving in runs, that could help put us over the top.
You didn't check your Twitter account today about that Bond Stadium story?
Yeah, I will. I'll even check the Detroit Tigers, see if they won.
Split doubleheader
Okay,
yesterday.
all right.